It was giving Lifetime. It was giving Seductive Babysitter. How much money did they pay you to do this, Charlotte? Welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss Deadly Illusions, available right now on Netflix. Now, sometimes as a reviewer, I have a really hard time finding decent things to watch. Just know that I watched two other movies, one in full, one 30 minutes in, that just gave me nothing to talk about before I even considered watching this one. I watched this as a last result because in my mind, from the trailer, I already knew what this movie was giving. It was giving, Lifetime. It was giving, nanny, babysitter comes into the home and tries to take advantage of the husband. Before we get into all things that this movie was and some things that they weren't and some things that they tried to throw in there to make it something else, I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, and then we're going to come back and discuss all things. What the hell was this? Guys have hopefully subscribed to see more of me. Let's get into this movie. Now, after doing a little digging, I realized that not only did, Kristen, aka Charlotte, and Greer Grammer, the younger lady, and V from Shameless, Shanola, if I'm saying that correctly, they had a hand in creating this film. They're listed, as producers and a little bit of writing. So they had a hand in touching this film. This is not just something that hey, I'll take that role. They created these roles. They had a hand in the script, this was a very hands-on project. Kind of like Omar Epps and Nia Long in Fatal Affair that was, brought to Netflix a few months back. I see these moments, of course, as cash grab moments. It's when, well-known actors and actresses pull back and, do the bare minimum, like really not tasteless scripts and, productions. It's just a really low caliber of what you are to expect from them, but they know that there isn't a market for these type of movies. So they produce and promote these and, sell it to, something like a Netflix, and it ends up being number 2. It is just like, really, like, wish it could have been more. It wasn't. But, here we are. Let's get into it. Now, we meet Charlotte. I'm going to call her Charlotte. Sex in the City. She's always going to be Charlotte to me. I don't care what she's in. But here she's Mary. She's an Arthur, and she, writes this, racy book series, and it's mystery, it's murder, it's sex, it's this and that, and it seems to not be something that she's too proud of. We can see right off the bat that she wants to be a high caliber writer. She doesn't want to resort to writing these erotic like novels, these murderous novels that have given her lots of wealth, because you can see that she's really wealthy. But it's presented as, well-do, family, happily married, 2 happy twins, happy, happy, happy. But we had to mess that up, right? Yeah. So after we get into, Mary's marriage not being so happy because her husband has, taken some of the money and, invested it and traded it, lost it. And now she feels even more pressure to do this book that's, this grand $2 million deal. So her having writer's block, she resorts to, hey, maybe I should consider, getting some help, getting a nanny, as suggested by her friend, who is played by V here. V from Shameless is here. She's here. Beautiful lady. I love her. She is just so like everything. I love her dress. She's always beautiful. But as soon as I saw her, she's like that black friend in the movie. I was like, oh, she's here to die. Somebody's got to die. After that, we go to an agency to find nannies. We are sent, to be, interviews and nanny after nanny. Up on, we come to this stereotypical, from a small town, innocent, blonde, freaking gorgeous, but we're gonna, kind of dumb that down and make it look like she's, from some podunk town, and we're gonna hire this gorgeous runway model-esque sex kitten to be our nanny. These movies kill me with that. Like, I know it's a movie, but man, if I'm in any position, and I'm a very content woman, but if I'm in any position to need a nanny, a maid, I am not hiring some fine ass nanny or maid to live in and walk around my house with her ass. No. So after we get into, the nanny being everything that anyone could ever ask for, she's on time, she's polite, she's, well-mannered, she's, shy and not really overtly sexual, doesn't seem like she would be problematic to leave around your husband. Although we do have our black friend in the background going, hey, she's cute, or, what's, are you okay? Are you sure we should? It's like, no, she's great. Why? I have nothing to worry about. After we get into that, and I'm thinking we are about to, drift off into Lifetime territory. She's going to be this in front of the wife. And then when she's alone with the husband, it's going to turn into, some sex kitten, some, cheating scandal, some Lifetime. They have a formula. No. I was like, what the hell is going on? It is at this point that we get into the story going out of its way to, throw everything at the wall to see what sticks, to make this everything but a Lifetime. Like, no, we're not Lifetime. We're a thriller. We're a mystery. We're fucking insane because nothing was making any sense. I was like, what? Not only do we get into, weird territory of Mary, the mother, oh, she's just so great. She's so innocent. She's so childlike. I'm loving her. I'm loving her interaction with my kids. We get into, hey, girl, yes. Oh, her bra is a little, whatever. I'm not going to give her any money to go get any new bras. No, I'm going to go with her bra shopping. Not only am I going to go with her bra shopping, but I'm going to stay in the dressing room as she tries them on. And then, slightly, she's going to grab my hand and, caress my boob. Like, what? This happens after Charlotte, Mary, has, made it a point to be very adamant to tell her husband, her friends, writers, publishers, I turn into a different person when I'm, trying to write a book. It's a dark space. It's nothing I want to go back to. They throw all these things out there and it's supposed to make us as an audience go, hey, is this here, turning into someone else? What's going on? It also puts a lot of things in there to make us go, is this really happening to her? This is called, deadly illusions. Is she imagining these things? Is she really having these interactions with this nanny? Like, what's going on? Stupidity is what's going on. So after that, the movie turns into this whole erotic, man with long hair on a horse with no shirt on book. Like, when I tell you, we had already, had multiple interactions with the couple, but it's a married couple. They want to, have sex and go down and all this. I thought, the husband was like, trying to overcompensate. Like, yeah, girl, I lost a little money. I gave you some head though. We were trying to go into that territory. Hey, you want to go and slip off into the little pantry to go have sex while the nanny's right there with your kids and slip off a little pop, go ahead, keep your marriage spicy. When we get into the interactions with the nanny and the Mary character, it gets really weird because she's making a point to talk about how innocent and childlike she is and how much, she's trying to care for her. But at the same time, she's sexualizing her. She's watching her. She's daydreaming about her. She's, making it a point to, tell her to, rub sunscreen on her back. And she's, skinny dipping. And it just got really weird. I was like, this is not what I was expecting. I'm glad that they're trying to give us something different, but it has to make sense. You can't just put sex out there for sex sake. And then they linger. These sex scenes, these little erotic scenes, they lingered and seemed to go on for forever. And I was just like, we get it. Go. Not to mention, not only do we sexualize this young lady, but we make it a point, to leave her, unsupervised with our kids, after we didn't even call to confirm anything with the agency to actually even inquire to see if Grace was a real legitimate nanny. Of course not. We, not only sexualize her, but we continue, to leave her with our kids, offer her liquor, offer her this. And they make it a very point to know that we don't know how old she is. They're just, oh, I just love her so much. Oh, she's just this. Oh, how old are you again? You old enough to drink? How old are you again? I just didn't know what they were hinting at with this script or what they were trying to convey and put in our face. Were we supposed to think that these things were okay? It's okay because nothing made sense. Nothing. Now while we have, the plot going on, with the wife and the nanny and, the sexual tension, and you're just sitting there waiting for, when is it going to happen? Because they're going to, eventually have sex. What? This is the only space that this could be leading to. All while you're like, okay, is this all in her mind? Is she actually interacting this way with this nanny? Then we also have, the side plot with, the black married couple with the black friend. She's there, and anytime that you see her there with the husband and with the wife, she just seems all too close to the husband. And I was watching it like, wouldn't that be, a twist all this time? He's actually been sleeping with the friend because they, they're slow dancing. They look close. She's fiddling with his tie. She's caressing his face. It looks suspect, all while dropping inklings of, hey, what happened? The whole milk bath, because, we give him milk baths and, rose petals, and we're feeding and we're finessing, and there's nipples and we're fingering, and it's lingering for so long. And she's like, hey, what happened? And remember when you woke up and you were like on my nipple and I thought it was my husband and it wasn't, and I came to it and I came back and I went out and I woke up again? Yeah, that can happen again. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, cool, yeah, good. So it didn't happen. I'm following. Now, once we get into the nanny and the husband interacting solo, the story takes a turn, because at this point I was thinking, this is in her mind. She says, she becomes a different person. She needs, to go left, right, left, up, and down just to write a novel and get this writer block, gone. They go out and it's, super intense, super sexual. Ooh, you look 20, now you're 40, and we're raising and we're seeing, rib cage, and you see her for a moment kind of turn into a different person. It's like, okay, with the wife, she's, really laid back and shy. With the husband, she's a little, overtly sexual, really bold. And then, boom, 3 weeks later. Who was that for? The movie does a horrible time of, giving us a headspace to, think about, well, how long have they been there? Because at this point, they've broken down. I feel so safe with you. I love you. I love it here. Should we, bring her more into the family? How long has she been there? And this is, after the best friend has, seen them, and, oh, I'm concerned. But you don't know as an honest, like, are you concerned because you're sleeping with him? Or are you concerned with, this is your best friend? Then we get into, this little innocent bike ride and picnic at multiple points in this movie. I was like, where the hell are the kids? Where are the kids? She's supposed to be there for the kids, right? Where are the kids? Where's her husband? But hey, we get into that, and, them, fondling, and she's reading to her and all this caressing. It was giving very, cruel intentions, kissing on the blanket. Yeah. And then the mystery part comes. Oh, who, slashed a tire on the bike? Who would do this? You guys weren't that far away from these bikes to not see someone walk over and slash the tires. But okay, we get back and, you know, she's talking to the husband and it kind of looks suspect. You know, they're walking up and she looks like she's confronting him as if they're in a relationship, at which Mary goes, you know, hey, well, what are you doing? Are you sure there isn't more you want to tell me? What were you doing? He's like, well, I would never. I'm your friend. That's not what we saw the whole movie. Don't try to flip it. They tried so hard to make this into something else and it just ended up being so stupid. After that, we get into, you know, Mary, you know, getting a little head in the kitchen and the feeding. You know, we have multiple. If you ever wanted to, you know, see an erotic novel come to life, this is the movie for you, because I was just tired. I was like, oh, again? And then, you know, the husband pulling up just in time, her nap, and then that turns into her coming back. Not only is the, you know, the nanny, you know, hair all down, because I was just so tired of seeing her little whack ass braid. I'm like, girl, we get it. You're innocent. Take the damn braid out. They're having sex on the countertop, and it's, you know, good boy, and it's erotic, and he's blindfolded, and you looking, oh, this is, you know, fake. This is in her mind. She's having a nightmare. This is a dream. But she wakes up and, you know, says, hey, you need to get the hell out. You were sleeping with my husband. It seems so real. What? Why? Now, at this point, we have been watching all of this unravel and take turns and twist and be erotic for almost 2 hours. There was no need for this movie to be 2 hours. After that, you know, after me thinking, hey, maybe this won't be the typical, since they're trying to be so different, maybe we won't kill that black friend. No, of course not. We made a point to kill our black friend after, you know, Mary is just so, I need help. You know what? This is, you know, a bit off-putting that, you know, after 3 months, you know, hey, the agency lets her know, yeah, we don't have a Grace. We didn't send her. Duh. But after she, you know, finally tries to investigate, and all she has to go off of with this woman is her name and the fact that she checked out a certain book. Like, talk about unrealistic. Like, did you guys even try? Did you ladies even try? Like, I'm so glad to, you know, see ladies independent and, you know, trying to produce and create, but give us some logic. Just a little bit. But she goes, you know, trying to, you know, confide in her friend, and boom, scissors to the neck. I love how she was like dead alive, and she's like, ugh. I'm like, is she dead? Or, but she was dead. And then we get into the plot of Mary being set up by the nanny. But it's being made to look like, oh yeah, well, of course she's being set up by the nanny, and she cut the child's hair, and her fingerprints are on the scissors, and your fingerprints are on this, and you went there and you weren't here, and we see you walking out in the coat and the glasses and this thing on her head that we never see her wear any other time, but just in that video. But it's also given to be like, well, you know, well, honey, did you do it? You know, you were gone for a long time. And, you know, that whole wave crashing cliff scene that we saw for like 5 minutes. I'm like, how long? We get it. Time went by. Stop. But then we get into the movie taking even more liberties. You know, because they're rich like that. She can just leave the police station even though she's a suspect, you know. She goes and drives all the way, you know, 2 hours away to, you know, another place, you know, Grace's address. And we meet Grace's aunt, at which she informs us that not only is Grace, you know, however many of, you know, children, but her parents, you know, starved her, did, you know, all these sick things to her. And that this aunt is insane and has multiple, you know, personalities, whole split personality situation. Okay, at which, you know, she's rushing back to the house, and, you know, after we were made to believe that, no, this wasn't all in her mind, and these, you know, sexual encounters with the nanny actually happened, I still wasn't absolutely sure about the husband. But we get there, and he's, you know, in the shower, and, you know, Grace steps out in some bad lingerie. Grace was looking good. Good and crazy. And, you know, it's like, oh, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? I would never. And, you know, but by the time she, you know, stabs him and cuts him I'm like, if they throw one more piece of tissue at her, knock her ass out. But, you know, why would we do that? Why would we do things like really knock her out or call the police? You know, we wouldn't do that. But the wife, you know, comes in and, Grace, call the police. Get someone. Who did this? After you called ahead of time, say, hey, don't let Grace in the house, but we're going to trust Grace anyway. But she sliced and diced the husband all 200 times. And he's down, oh, I'm sorry, honey. She seduced me. Also, all that happened. All those things that were, you know, in the mind and drink, all of this actually happened. So what was she fainting for? What was she coming to for so many times in the movie if all of this happened? You know, does she have, you know, some type, oh, this is her turned into a different person because of the book? Okay, sure, whatever. After we, you know, finished with this horrible fight scene and, oh, Grace, who is it? Is it Grace? Is it Margaret? Is it this one? Is it that? I love that little piece of flashback they gave of the kids chained up. Hey, I'll give you some crackers if you play Margaret, because, you know, that was supposed to give us something. Good job. After, you know, she knocks her out and we get back into, you know, we've written the book and we end with, you know, that happy family being that pristine happy family, like they didn't just both cheat with the nanny. Crazy or not, y'all both slept with her. We end off, don't get me started on the black friend. All the black friend got was, you know, your tired ass book, your untitled book on her grave. Get that out of here. This is for you. Whatever. We get into her still visiting. We're still visiting her, and you know, we're bringing her books, and it's almost like, you know, there's an innocent like 10, 11, 12-year-old girl. Oh, thank you. You're so awesome. What kind of sick, twisted ass, like, oh, you were just so elaborate and lusting and lustful and sexual with someone who thought they were how old in their mind? What? And we end up, you know, with her walking out, you know, with that same, you know, scarf on as she did in the video, you know, to say, did she really kill her friend? Was it really her? Did they switch? Is she in the facility? And, you know, Grace is walking out. Ooh, get this out of my face. Get this stupid stuff out of my face. Why? Why do you people make this crap? Granted, it is number 2, so somebody's watching it. I watched it, but like, if we were gonna go this route, we could have just, you know, gave me Seductive Babysitter. You could have gave me, you know, Poison Ivy. You could have gave me one of those again. Not this. Like, there were so many, even with all they tried to do, there were so many different routes that they could have went besides, you know, her, you know, having multiple personalities and kill him. No, please, no. No, kill her. No, but that's all we could have. I'm gonna need Charlotte to just keep walking around with, you know, Samantha and them with her pumps on. Just do that. Not this. Well, you guys, that was my review on the movie. Please drop down and tell me what you thought about it so we can get the conversation going. As you can see, this is not one of my picks. This is not anything that I would go back and watch. This is not anything that I would suggest that anyone else watches, unless you're into some erotica and you want to see a little softcore porn. Go ahead, you know, hey, do what you do. If not, if you want, you know, some compelling, interesting story, not this. If you want Lifetime with a twist, watch this. Anything else, do not. Please drop down and tell me what you thought about my review, what you thought about this movie. What did you think was going on? What did you think was going to happen? Did you even make it towards the end? Because I almost cut it off. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you come back for more. I see you next time. Bye.